All right. Hey, Ed. I just want to give you a quick analysis on this social media marketing plan, and I'm just going to go over some points. It's better that I go over it visually and address some points, and you have a recording. You can take this back to whoever else you need to take it back to, and I'll probably call you a little bit afterwards. So, from what I see, like from just overall, like I went through it. And I saw briefly the thing that jumped out to me the most was this final page and the amount. So, to be honest, I think this is relatively cheaply. Even if you're paying for their service, I would expect more budget to be here. So this 950 is very cheap, and I'm not saying go out and throw money at the wall, but I would be really surprised if you could get like an amazing package for this amount here. Even if you are doing this, I would increase the ad budget. I would increase the spend. So I'm going to start from top to bottom. So introducing it says Christina Wiggins, digital marketing with 10 years. Something that immediately stood out to me and all of us, like within our industry, we need to be mindful of is the experience. So we need to be very careful about what others and when others come from a different industry. So even like us here at Dig ourselves, like we've hired a marketing company and they have like overall marketing experience, but within real estate, like especially with real estate investors and real estate RIAs, like we do, we have a very specific like ad copy niche and target that we have to really hone in on in order for things to work. And if we don't have that target, we need to understand what people are looking for, and that kind of needs to be we need to put more time in that. We can't just throw stuff at the wall. So for example, recently we are going to run an ad for our main meeting, and we can say and we can talk to investors all we want, but we're only reaching investors. We need to find a way to also reach people that have an interest in real estate and don't necessarily understand investing. So there's like two perspectives here. Like you can go in and you can talk to the investors, like so they can talk to the investors, and the ad copy can talk all investors. But there's also like an ad copy that should speak specifically to people that don't even know what real estate investors are. And I would even go to say that those customers are more important than investor customers. You know what I'm saying? Than customers that are attracted to RIAs, because new clients, new customers, they spend money, and these companies, these marketing companies, they have to understand who our target avatar is within RMG. Jonathan, and that Jonathan has a really good what do you call he called the buyer modalities. That's a really good like basis and template from us to for us to start with, especially within our industry. So I would consider that with the this experience. Like this experience is great, but this is for overall. This does not guarantee success. And I'm telling you personally, like real estate agents and real estate investors are completely different. Real estate REITs, all three of those are different things, and they will require different ad copy, different strategies, different verbiage, et cetera, et cetera. So current clients, I would just go and verify. I would like to see these clients. So could you put a link in there? Could you put the websites? Could you put the social media links in there so we can see? Like we want to see examples, and something that I'm encouraging and I'm pushing for that many people should be doing. The old ways of marketing are dying. So something that we have to do is we need to consider and we need to implement, especially within social media, we need to implement video marketing, video content, humanized content. And I did see that as part of this strategy a little bit further down. So the content needs to be humanized. There needs to be a face to the brand for you to have that success. I did some research a while ago, and the most successful social media accounts, guess what they are? They're all people, humans. It's not brands, it's humans. So that's something I want to be mindful of. Wexford Beard and this one, I would just want to see their profiles. And just because they have successful or they have presence does not mean you're going to have success. You're going to have the most success, and we know as relationship based organizations, we talk about the importance of the relationship so much. And how do you have relationships within our current what do you call it, market, or our current way of living? People, we need to see people. So the way we're going to do that is with video content and showcasing people. Purpose of the strategy. Social media efforts should be rooted in business objectives, social media goals. So this was really good. I appreciated this. This is that's a great plan and a great objective to have. Something really quickly, which could always be updated, but this right here, over here on the right, this image is very old looking, it's going to turn people off that are on social media. So this old image, like this old looking images that we're rolling out and that we have in our reels, we need to be more conscious of that, and we need to update our ad images because it turns people off, it turns them away. One thing that immediately jumps out, what I use is a website called Canva, Canva. I would use Canva to update some of this stuff and make it look more modern. Goal tactics. This is very complicated. I want to, let's see, content, develop content series. So, okay, this is the part where I saw human. This is so important. Relevant, all these things are actually important, but relevant and human content. This content matters. Like we customers, they don't care about the RIA. They don't care about dig RIA, acre RIA. They don't care about that. They care about who is the face, who is the brand behind that company. And even in your real estate business, the people don't care about the companies. They care about the people. So who is the representative or the person, the face of that business? So this is really important that they want to humanize content. I don't see that a lot. And the most successful companies, they humanize their content. You have to humanize the content. And one of the things, like we got ad copy and writing in here, one of the ways you're going to humanize content is by doing video content. So you don't have to be an amazing writer once you begin to implement that video content. You can target some keywords and stuff like that, and then your video can say everything that needs to be said within that content. So that's one thing you consider, and that's one thing I really appreciate and I push for. Content series, drive interest in meetings. Yeah, this is important. Meetings are a bit of a challenge online, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but this is important. You want to drive interest to meetings. And I would want more details of how you're going to drive interest to meetings. You will probably need like a multi-point marketing series. You got to build the awareness, you got to do the consideration, then you got to do the conversion. Like meetings are a bit of a challenge to get moving online. So I would want more details there. I would ask them like, show me what your plan is, like steps. And I would expect like I wouldn't expect like a blast video. I would expect multiple videos to get these people to a meeting. So let's just say the upcoming meeting was about fix and flips. You gotta begin to provide value based content. So what that means is you can't just say, hey, come to this meeting and learn how to fix and flip. You gotta provide value. You have to provide value, and that means, hey, look, what's the best tip you got for fix and flips? Boom, that's one tip. Hey, what's the best tools you suggest for fix and flips? That's another point. And you provide value, and then you build that value up, and then you get them over. So you what is it? It's um what's the guy's name? Gary V. He's got the concept jab, 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 right hook. So you provide content. You got to give people value. Give, and then you ask. Give, and then you ask. In addition to that, give, you're also achieving what's called the awareness. They're becoming aware of who you are and familiar with who you are. So I would be mindful of that when driving interest to these meetings. It can't just be all sales. You got to actually provide value these days. Target audiences, this is really good. I'm not exactly sure if I would want them to develop my target audience, especially with what we're doing within RMG. So within RMG, we already have like those profiles of who our target audience is and who's going to be the most successful for us in these RIAs and marketing to those avatars. So it would be up to us to kind of break it down and target those people. And that was it's the same thing as I mentioned, like within those buyer modalities, there are some people that are going to be ideal for what we're trying to market to, and there are some people that aren't going to be. We already figured that out, so I'm not necessarily sure if we need to do that research. If anything, we would probably just hand it off. Hey, go and find these types of people for us, and use this ad copy or use this delivery when delivering to those type of people. Acre lessons. What's going on here? Yeah, purpose, showcase what attendees learn from attending meetings. Yeah, this would be really good, and something you would develop is like, hey, what did you learn? You know, Acre member, what did you learn from the meeting? Hey, I learned blah blah blah, whatever I learned, and I say what I learned over 1 or 2 minutes. That's a piece of content that you put into your content library, and you develop some kind of marketing campaign, or you put on some squeeze page somewhere so people know what they're getting, and people see that person and they begin to connect with that. they get that human connection from other people outside of the organization. So people understand that, hey, this is real and these are real people. I can do that too. So that's one thing I want to do. Put together top insights. So format into intriguing social posts that drive interest and attending the next meeting. Shareable graphics, short video recap from board member, 1 minute or less. I would be very so I'm very cautious of social posts. Posts are great, but they don't drive a lot of traffic, and it's good to be present, but you're going to have a lot more success when you do an ad. Like posts are great and I encourage posts, but I would not focus strategy around posts. I would focus strategy around ads more than posts, because posts die, especially on Facebook. Posts will die. I just to be generous, let me just say they die in 12 hours, and then it's no more. They're no more good. With an ad, that ad can last as long as you tell it to last. So I would create engaging ads, and more so paid content than normal posts. Aim to make posts shareable and conversation continue the discussion. I would take this and I would kind of build a group around this, like this shareable and conversational stuff. I would probably develop a group. So it's growing real estate groups are tough, because not a lot of people care about real estate. So it would be, I'm not saying don't do a real estate group, but it's going to be an uphill battle to build a real estate group. What I would encourage is like something more community centric. So like we're having issues with landlords recently. Maybe we can develop some, landlord tenant type of forum where everybody plays nice and they discuss issues, and something real community based that people can talk to. And I would share content in there. Hey, come learn how landlords and tenants can work together. Something that's really community centric and not really salesy and not purely focused on real estate. Yeah, ex attendees to comment on a recap. This is helpful. Any engagement that you give on social media is really positive. I would encourage that. I would encourage that for sure. Also, I would maybe run some incentives on that, and incentives to, so posting and comment is great, but to get that video content is even better. So I would maybe run incentives for people that are willing to give video based content for this particular thing here. Short stories. Yeah, so this is purpose, use the greatest asset we have, current members, to showcase real life benefits. So members, human based content, I can't say that enough. This content is what's going to really matter. The video content where people get to see people. Even if you do a meeting and you show like a one on one between someone or someone networking, where someone got like a great resource from another member, that's going to be really helpful. People want to see human based content on social media. Storytelling, interviews, talking to camera. Yep, exactly. This camera-based content is highly important. The thing about this camera-based content is easy to say. It's easier to say than it is to do. It's going to be sometimes it can be challenging to get people to um, take into the idea, especially when I'm going to say we leaders, we have to be encouraging that content, and we have to be on video ourselves doing that stuff. A real quick resource, and a real quick resource to think about is this website called uh, Bomb Bomb. Bomb Bomb video marketing. You can just type it in, BOMB. Bomb Bomb is video email marketing. I would think about that, and it lets you send short videos to your membership, and just video engagement. The statistics on video compared to everything else is going to increase your marketing, and it's going to ultimately grow your group. Yeah, start with a few key members to test with. Exactly. So you want to start with those members that aren't afraid to be shy, members that are going to share and that know a little bit of the history of Acre and that have some experience. Hey, Acre's done this for me in the past. Highlight posts, interviews, and graphics, showcasing real examples. Exactly. Yeah, you want real examples. Deal of the month, that's perfect. Flip of the month, that's great too. And yeah, with this flip of the month, this right here is really good. How a member made 10K on a flip. Like think those numbers like that that appeal to people that don't really know what real estate is. That's going to do really well. Demystify a meeting. Yeah, tell people what the meeting is about, and also emphasize, because the meeting, you have to be mindful, like with social media and just the way people are thinking. Like the meeting is cool, but we have to get it's like, why should I attend the meeting? A lot of people are not interested, like even me myself, I'm not interested in attending the meetings. I'm more interested in networking, mentorship, coaching, things that you can't necessarily get during that middle part presentation of the meeting. So demystify the meeting. I'm not exactly sure how well the meetings are going to do. I would try to focus more on like the networking and the emphasis and the importance of being there live. Also with our meetings, we have to be careful of that lecture structure because people get bored. So if we can make the meetings more interactive, that's going to help. How visual graphic content showcasing the structure of meetings, how it's designed for something. Um, yeah, video. I'm always going to say video. We got to do this video content, or we get left behind. Huge proponent of video. Um, yeah, all this stuff is great. Personality. So this is where I'm talking about. Like, yes, we have to. We can't hide behind our brands. We can't hide behind our clubs anymore. We need to know, and we need to showcase who we are. So this is a great demonstration of Taylor here, like showing who he is, what he's into, et cetera, et cetera. People want to know personality. Exactly. You have to use personalities to show to market on social media. This is highly important. Showcase exactly showcase diversity. So in my personal experience, rias are all about older white men. So we could get some more diverse people, like young, like even here is a good start because Taylor is a little bit younger than the typical ria person that you see. We can get some women in there, we can get some different colors, different genders. That's going to be really great too. So I encourage diversity. That's going to really help personify the standout members, the legacy. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. That's a little too fancy and corny for me, but it works. Event ads. So ads are ads are probably the most challenging and complicated thing. Increase awareness of events through social media, activity domino effects, increase shareability, enable reminders. The same thing that applies on everything else that I'm saying. Like these event ads, like this is cool, this looks great, but what's going to really work is video ads. So this is cool. This looks pretty, but people are becoming immune to this type of stuff. You want to stand out immediately, we got to do video. So we got to find a way. And it can't just be a video of a slideshow of words flashing across the screen. Like maybe for a beginning campaign, maybe. I still don't encourage that. But we're gonna have to turn this stuff into like video based ads if we want to achieve real success. Even if it's like, hey, this is Taylor, for example. Hi, this is Taylor. I just want to show you what you're going to get when you come to our next meeting. And then we flash over to some words on the screen. That would be perfect. Additional best practices, advocacy, build motivating. Yeah, I don't have too much input on that. Lean into social media functions. So Facebook communities, this is kind of what I touched on before, where I talked about that group of landlords and tenants kind of meeting up in the middle and discussing some things. The group being based around that and like relationships, something that you can't get anywhere, and that brings more people in. So it's not just people who are interested in real estate. Maybe it's like people that are interested in business overall, or maybe it's people that are interested in Pittsburgh overall. Some kind of group that you manage, some kind of community that you manage, and that's not all about real estate and all about sales. Yeah, live sessions are highly important. I would do this, and this could be like a great teaser. Live sessions. What I would do is I would multicast these live sessions out to different platforms. I might I might give I will probably give a preview of what's happening, like maybe some of the networking during the meeting. I'm not exactly sure if I would give out the actual lecture and the content, but one of the things you're going to do, these sessions are highly important, and I encourage if you're going to be doing live sessions that you attack all platforms at once. So the tool I'm going to suggest is called StreamYard. So you're going to want to implement, and this is why. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is why that price what we initially talked about, it can begin to sound a little bit cheaply because you need some other tools and things in place to run these things effectively. So StreamYard is the tool that you would run in StreamYard is a tool that you run and you can attack all of these platforms at once. So we talked about that group, right? That Facebook community, you can be there. We talk about your Facebook page, you can be there. You can be on your YouTube page. You can be on some personal Facebook pages. You can be on all these things at once. with just that simple installation of the StreamYard software. So that's one thing I would do. Instagram stories. So I would stay away from this because not a lot of people are aware of what stories are. Stories are typically the younger generation are dealing with stories, and they are, I'm not going to say they're broke, but they don't really have an interest in growing their businesses and stuff like that. So this the Instagram stories are. I'm not saying they're the only ones that utilize them, but in my experience, mostly younger people know how and implement stories correctly. If I were to use Instagram stories, I would probably retarget, but I would not focus on Instagram stories, Facebook stories. I wouldn't focus on stories. I would focus on the most popular. This is called, so Instagram stories is a section of, it's called a placement. I would not focus on Instagram stories as a placement. I would use the news feeds, and I'm willing to say that I would not even use Instagram to implement my strategy. I would stick strictly with Facebook because Instagram is a different demographic, and it does require like a higher quality of content, and it's just not necessary for you to implement Instagram right now. So I would not worry about Instagram stories or Instagram at all, to be honest. Ask me anything. This is going to be really helpful. It doesn't have to be on Instagram, but polls and quizzes, all of this engagement, this stuff, quizzes, questions and answers, polls, that stuff is highly important, and it increases engagement. It helps you organically. And the thing about social media is the algorithms, they favor and they like content that's engaging. So the better your prospects and customers and members engage with their content, um, the better you will grow, and it will take away from, you won't have to spend as much in your budget when you get people to engage in your content. So stay away from the stories, but I do encourage and these things, the questions and answers, the ask me anything's in the polls. You can do most of this without using Instagram stories or Facebook stories. So I would do that, but I would kind of stay away from the Instagram stories. How we estimate success. This was a little bit complicated. I'll try to come back to that. We are on page. Let's go to page 11. Yeah, this is highly important. So this is what I like to call batching content. So all this content strategy, you need to build. We need to build out a plan where it's not like, hey, February is our main meeting. Let's start to build out the campaign for February. We should probably be 30, 60 days ahead of the curve. So this stuff is automatically running and scheduled. So don't try to build and market the same week or the same month. This should take planning, and it should be 30, 60 days ahead of time before you implement some of this stuff. The planning needs to be all set. So you need everything packaged up 30, 60 days. But when it's time to implement, you can maybe do 2 weeks, or I would say 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, but plan and build this stuff out ahead of time, because these digital assets, it's a challenge chasing people and getting them to submit digital assets and do everything that you need to do. Also, something you have to be mindful of is the platforms that we're marketing on. Sometimes they throw a wrench into your strategy, like Facebook ads, for example. Sometimes they feel like we are marketing to real estate um, clients where we're trying to get them to buy and sell houses, so they'll terminate your ads and they'll turn it off. So the more time we can have to kind of quell those issues, the better it will be. You definitely have to plan. You can't just, hey, we got a meeting coming up Thursday, it's Monday, I'm gonna start to post some stuff on social media. You definitely need a plan. Define paid media strategy, implement, optimize. This is where it's going to matter the most. Again, like I said prior in the video, you need to have a paid strategy. Things need to be paid for. You can't just, hey, hire your nephew or hire someone and they just post social media ads. I would rather you have no social media content, like organic content, and you pay, than you try to post and not have a paid strategy. The paid strategy is where it matters. You get the most results from paid strategies. Define test project scope with corresponding project rate. Yeah, this is all relevant. I would do all of this. The only thing about this is really like for what they're offering. I am not confident. Like for that price, I'm not confident they're going to be able to do all of this. for that price, because there are going to be some tools needed and resources. I'm not sure if they have a team or what, but I'm just really cautious about that price. Does that price include the budget? Does it include the tools that you need, et cetera, et cetera? Because that is really cheap. And yeah, I would just really look into that. This is all great, but that's really cheap, and I'm not sure if they have the tools and resources that's needed to implement. So basically, you're going to have hidden costs, and I would, hey, what are the hidden costs that I need to account for? And it'll probably be, I don't know, it's just to throw a number out there, it'll probably be another, um, I don't, let's just say $500, which is still pretty cheap. Um, Still pretty cheap. I'm just, this price scares me, but uh, that's just my opinion. Access and tasks and setup tasks, admin tasks to get started, gain password. This is so important. We're struggling with this right now. All this stuff needs to be in place. This stuff takes time. Um, so you're going to be on their clock. Um, if you have this stuff already and set and you can just hand it over to them, that's great. But I would be surprised if that was the case. And to be honest, they should probably charge for the time and the frustration that it's going to take to do all of this stuff. Um, so yeah, promoting the February meeting, organic promotion, create posts. That's cool. But again, I always encourage Facebook ads, create a Facebook event listing for the post. Posts. I encourage these, but this is not where you're going to have the most success. You're going to have the most success with ads and targeting the audience the correct way. Paid promotion, this is where you want to focus, and this is where I would encourage them. Hey, focus here. Focus here. Suggest 75 in ad spend. That is really cheap, and that is really cheap. Really cheap. I would be surprised if you got much from that. If they do get much from that, I would love to see what and how they're doing it. Again, be mindful that we have a unique industry, and it's going to take it's going to take a little bit of getting used to and finding who our target avatar and who our target prospects are. So $75 in ad spend is I just that is really cheap. That is really cheap. Test content strategies, acre lessons, 3 feeds. This is all great. These posts are great, but again, where it's going to have the most success is paid ads. Promotion and deployment. I am blown away that these people are implementing this for this small amount. Suggest 275 in ad spend. Reporting. Reporting is automatic, so I would leave that there. But that's just my overall. Um, that's overall, like, this marketing plan is great. It's a it's an expansive plan, and it's an ambitious plan, and I don't think this is possible on such a small budget. So that is what I'm scared of, and I'm hoping that it's not just one person either, or one or two people. It's going to need to be more than one person if they're implementing this. I didn't see like any like systems and processes like ready to be set up, so they're leveraging time versus people, and leveraging systems versus people. So I am a little bit curious about how that's going to work. And this price is really getting to me. I don't think that's enough, and I feel like you're going to start here, but it's going to keep eventually rising. And you get what you pay for. I think like everything that you have here is cheap. It's like the contractors; they give you a cheap bid, and then there's like, hey, well, look, the fees start to pop up, and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting bled dry with these fees and these different issues that are coming up with the rehab. So that is what I think. I don't think there is enough of a budget and enough money here to figure out what is going to work. I'm also a little bit cautious about like what is the ad copy and what is the content. What are you going to say, and how are you going to appeal to um, the target avatar. Not only that, like this person, this marketing company, they need to partner up with, someone in the RIA. So either Jonathan, Ben, someone that represents the RIA, and they need to be working closely together. You can't just hand off this marketing plan and say do it. That the other person is going to be working closely, and to be honest, that person's time should probably be they should probably be compensated for that time because this is not a simple process. So that other person within the RIA should probably be compensated to be that person and to be working hand in hand because this is not it's not going to be like a super simple process. So that's my thoughts. I hope you found this video helpful. I will give you a call in a little bit.